Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 46. I am your host, Dantes, and of course, joining me like always, Caleones. How you doing, Caleones?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And this week was a week of, a lot of, talks about games, a lot about a certain company that we haven't seen anything from in the last, 4.5 years or so, and about, old games coming back and performing reasonably well. So Dantes, go ahead and take it away so we can get started on this.
So we go into it quickly with a quick rigmarole. I want to welcome everybody to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 46, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, you can get these podcasts on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show up some love. Also, go to the description box below so you can see the full channel schedule. Remember, the new streams, Caleones on Mondays, called PlayStation Mondays. Hopefully we can continue, but we shall see. Also, hey, we have a Facebook page called Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, Caleones, are you ready? I said, are you ready? For the no one in attendance and the people watching around the world, let's get ready for Reggie's Hot Topics of the Week.
My body is ready.
My body is ready, and Caleones, take it away.
Okay, so it's been a long time since Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze released for the Wii U, and that marked the last game that Retro Studio worked on for the system, or any other system, basically. So the rumor is that it's a possibility that we are finally going to see Retro Studios game, and that it might not be Metroid, it might not be Donkey Kong, but it might be a Star Fox game, Dantes. And not only a Star Fox game, but a Star Fox racing game. So basically, what they're talking about is the tentative title of the game is Star Fox Grand Prix. This has been, not confirmed by Nintendo or by Retro Studios, but there's a lot of sources, a lot of places that are saying that it is indeed true, and from a lot of people that they have great credibility. So basically, this is the description of the game and what they say it is and not. So the game is not like F-Zero. It does has the person that talked about it has seen a more complete version of the logo. The game is based on the R-Wing, which is of course very different than the F-Zero vehicles. The title of Star Fox Grand Prix is a tentative title, so we don't know if that's going to stick or not. But as we saw with Project Octopath Traveler, it was a tentative title, but it stays at as Octopath Traveler. The game is going to be a mixture of the classic Star Fox and racing. You're going to shoot enemies to propel forward and get combos. And you can shoot other players too as well while you're racing in there. It's going to be 3 tracks for the Grand Prix, and it's going to end up with a boss fight where the boss comes into the tracks. It's going to have a hub, a big area where you can interact with the Star Fox character. You can pick up on new missions on the hub, and it has story content as well to go through. The game looks it's said to look really good in motion. So far, as one place called it the best looking Nintendo Switch game to date. That's what one of the sources said. The Retro Studio was considering having other characters like Donkey Kong make cameos on the game, and that it might not be releasing in 2018. It's probably going to be a 2019 title. So that's basically what they've gathered from other different people talking about the game, Dantes. But give us your take about the game.
Okay, first, shout outs to everybody in the chat. JJ Monster, Dick, Okami, Anthony, EPS, we, Xbox C. Thank you for joining us tonight. Anyway, with that said, Where do I start, Caleones? Well, okay, let me ask you this. What do you think I'm gonna say? My point is, what do you think I'm gonna take this? I'm gonna take this as in the bad way, or I'm gonna take this as good news? Let's start there.
Okay. Well, it's gonna be. You can take it two ways, actually, depending on the conversation that we have. But the main thing is that if they're calling it a Star Fox racing game, Nintendo already does have a racing title that has been in hiatus for a long time, and which they could have probably used, to bring that title on board as Nintendo's next racing game instead of Star Fox. But I'm gonna leave it at that, because if I tell you the other one, that's gonna be my thinking of the game. So why? I mean, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts? What did you feel and feel now? Because it's been a couple of days since they announced it. So
no, they haven't announced it. Still a rumor.
Still a rumor. It's a rumor. Yeah, the rumors came up.
Okay. Hey, Eddie's just saying hi to you, and Okami quickly. I have not seen the new Black Ops trailer. I don't know if Caleones has seen it. I know it's a battle royale included. I know they took away the single player campaign, and I know they said, which we had that news, that they don't have any plans for the Switch right now. Well, but we shall see.
I mean, just say quick. They took the single player campaign for the game, but each character is gonna have their own their own mission specific to those characters. So it still has like a single player campaign for each character, not the full robust ones that the games usually have. But
we shall see. We'll leave that one for Force In Unison Live tomorrow for sure. I think that's gonna be one of the topics. Anyway, so what I take. Caleones, I'll put it this example. Which is Sony's best developer?
Naughty Dog.
Okay.
Yep.
What would you say if there was a rumor that instead of them working on their bread and butter, which is adventure, story-driven games, comes out that they're going to do Crash Bandicoot Racer or Jak and Daxter Racer? How would you take that news?
I would be extremely disappointed because, there's a certain quality and certain freedom that they have, and you're putting constraints on them.
Okay. So that's how I'm taking it, the Retro Studios. Retro, on the GameCube and Wii era, in my opinion, they were one of the best Nintendo developers, right? They were making great adventure games, which Metroid is an adventure game, with, I won't say story, but great gameplay, great level design.
A lot of lore.
Lore. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I'm not. It has story. I'm just saying it's not, story-driven game. Let me put it that way. But you could see the seats there, where they were right there with a company like Naughty Dog. Well, would you agree with that? That during that era, they were right there, right? Yes. Or even ahead, because while Naughty Dog was making Jak and Daxter, Retro was making the Metroid Prime series, regarded as one of the best franchises, or 3 games of all time. Now we move ahead to how many years now? Naughty Dog are, and I'm sorry to keep comparing them, but I just trying to bring my point. But Naughty Dog became one of the top industry developers of all time, and Retro, in my opinion, has reversed back, where they did 2 good Donkey Kong games. I'm not taking it away. But those games did not have any impact, any impact in the industry. You have to agree with that. It has no impact at all in the industry, where you tell, oh my God, Retro, damn, Retro, oh my God, oh my God, they're so awesome.
I'll tell you that. Well, the reason is because you went from a 2D to a 3D Metroid, and people thought that Metroid could not be done in 3D, especially like a first-person pseudo shooter. More like an action-adventure game. But, Donkey Kong under Retro became more like the Donkey Kong from the Super NES, Rare games. So it was kind of like a continuation. So, nothing revolutionary out of it.
But let me continue. But my point is that they didn't do anything that it had impact with that talent, my point, which they did with Metroid Prime. They did not do that with Donkey Kong. No revolutionary. Everybody was asking, I mean, at least the hardcore gamers were asking, when are they doing Metroid Prime again? Then you go back and they announce Metroid Prime 4, and Retro's not doing it. So then at this point, you start building your own story in your head, and you start saying, "Oh, Retro's gonna work on a new IP. Oh, it's gonna be something big. It's gonna be a triple A monster game," because that's what people think of Retro, because they're still having that memory or nostalgia for Metroid Prime. They're thinking big triple A game, right? Big quality, something that Nintendo is lacking right now, Caleones, and you have to admit it's a big budget triple A game, and Retro used to be that for Nintendo, right? Now, I hear this news, I hear this rumors, still rumors, and they announced this, and I go to myself, it's probably going to be a fun game. It's probably going to be fine. It's probably going to do fine, Caleones. I'm not taking away that it's probably going to be fun. But Nintendo already has the top fun racer, which is Mario Kart. Why would you add this? I would have preferred, in my opinion, to give Retro to do a new Star Fox. A new Star Fox adventure, Caleones. That would have been more exciting for me than a racer. Aside, I don't like racers, that's one. So for me, that just takes me out that the next big retro game, I'm not gonna care. And B, that is a waste of talent. Is it A, Retro, and we're gonna mix the other news and to make me to my point, but let me bring it out quickly. But so there's the next piece of news is the Retro maybe had a canceled game, right? That they worked on something for years, did not work out. So this is probably a rebound game that they quickly made to bring something out fast, but then it looks bad on Retro. See? So my point to that, Santa Monica, they had a canceled game. They were struggling too. They did not bring a game out for many years. The last game that they brought out was Star Wars, God of War Ascension, which did fine on Metacritic. It was at 84, 85, which is fine, but it's not 90s like the other God of Wars, right? And then they had the council game, and they struggle, but Santa Monica still brought something new to the table, and they show the talent that they have, and it was like a something that they needed to prove. That's where Retro is right now. They need to prove something, Caleones. I do not consider right now Retro in the top tier of Rockstar and all those people anymore, because what they have put out, nothing is impressive. Again, I got nothing against Donkey Kong, and this game is going to probably be fun as hell. It's probably, I may buy it. I'm not taking away. I like Star Fox. I may buy it. I just would have preferred to be a full-on Star Fox adventure than this. So that's my opinion. I believe it's a waste of talent. I believe it's a waste of time. Again, Nintendo already has a racer. So it's just, Retro has a lot to prove now. We waited for so long for the Retro game, and it's this. Or possibly this. We don't know yet. It's a rumor, but possibly this. Anyway, Caleones, your turn. And sorry to damage your parade, but go ahead, Caleones.
Okay, so my first understanding, from this is, you have the glass half full side, which is Star Fox Zero did poorly, and that's an understatement for Nintendo. I know that a lot of people enjoy the motion controls from the game, but I didn't. And there's a lot of other people that didn't enjoy it as well. Also, the game was, even though it was a throwback to the Nintendo 64 era, it just fell short. Like graphically, it was okay, even for a Wii U game. If anything, maybe taking a step backwards. And the action-wise, the game felt slow, playing it. So you have this from then, and then you're told, okay, Retro is working on a new Star Fox game, so you're gonna be doing cartwheels because you're like, oh, finally we're gonna get a good Star Fox game because we have Retro working on it. That's one side, yes, but the other side from this is, like you said, I was under the impression whenever they said Metro Prime 4 is not being made by Retro, that it was because Retro was allowed to be working on their very own IP. If we hadn't heard anything from Retro in 4 years, it was probably because
Something
they were
big.
working on a really big game. I mean, so big that they were, coming up with their engine, their character story, everything from scratch. So it was going to be something brand new completely. And now that the rumors are coming out, I feel somewhat disappointed in a way because I wanted something brand new from them and something that they've earned the right to be working on something, by themselves. They've earned that right. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of like a catch-22 for me, where no, they're not working on new IP. That's very disappointing. They're doing Star Fox. That's great because Star Fox has a chance to to come back again. But I expected something more from Retro. About the other rumor, which was that Retro was working on 2 games. One of them may have gotten canceled, maybe not. They're not sure, but maybe that other game is their IP, their very own IP, and it's still in place. Hopefully, if it is, I will be seeing it. But I want to just say once again, this is not definitive. This is not coming from Nintendo. This is not coming from Retro, but it's a lot of credible sources that have been giving this information, and something that, with how many people and who has been saying it, then we take it as something that it's real, as a short thing basically. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm happy that Star Fox has a worthy developer working on it, but at the same time, I expected more from Retro, and I don't want to downplay Retro because I'm making it sound like Rare. Rare, it was one of the absolute best developers in the world in the 90s, like mid 90s, late 90s. Then they fell off from the face of the earth once they were sold off to Microsoft. And even though Sea of Thieves is subpar at best, but they still haven't come out of that. So Retro Studio is not Rare. Retro Studio has been making really good games. Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, it's a great game, one of the best platformers in years. But you would expect Retro to have the autonomy like Rare did in those days, because Rare, yes, they did Donkey Kong Country, but they were coming up with other games as well. They were doing the Jet Force Gemini, they were doing the Conqueror's Fury, they were doing like games that they created. Those characters, those were their characters, and Nintendo allowed them to to create them. But Retro still hasn't come out from that umbrella from Nintendo, and they should. I mean, because they've done time and time again great games. They haven't really had a bad game made yet. So they've earned that, and they've been doing it for the past, like 10, 15 years. So Nintendo, just unshackle Retro and let them work on something that they absolutely want to work on. So, I mean, that's also my take. So, I mean, it's, I guess, kind of like, pretty similar to what you were saying in a way. But I'm hopeful that even though it's not a new IP, but we're going to see Star Fox, and hopefully it will be something, worthwhile.
We shall see, Caleones. I guess you can jump to the next retro news, and I mean, we basically talked about it, but we can, I guess, give a little bit more of our opinions on the cancel, supposedly cancel game. But go ahead, Caleones, with the next one.
Okay, so yeah, basically the next one is about that second retro game that may have been canceled. From Kotaku, they said we've also heard from 2 other sources that the Austin, Texas-based Retro had a separate project that went through a rocky development cycle and may in fact be canceled. From Game Informer, we have heard many of the same rumors, though cannot and do not confirm the veracity of the sources. Rumors of the game have been swirling for several months in light of talk from some sources that Retro Studios' title has been struggling, with many at both Retro and Nintendo growing frustrated with the state of the project. The sources did not confirm whether the project being worked on was the Star Fox title. So, I mean, there's talk about those 2 games. Hopefully, we'll see the other one. Hopefully, the other one's good enough, for Nintendo to approve it and let it, be shown. But I mean, if something that we saw today, I believe it was today on the Square Enix conference, Square stuff was showing, the fantasy, Final Fantasy Tactics 2. That they actually canceled and never released. So, and that's probably would have been a pretty good game to have. Hopefully, it's not going to be the case with Retro, and whatever game they were working on will see the light of day, and that it will be a worthy release.
It sounds and makes sense, Caleones, that I guess that Retro should maybe had a cancel game, like I stated before. It was never confirmed from Santa Monica, but you saw that long term that it took him to get a game out from a God of War Ascension to God of War, where you assume that there was a cancel game, and then when the rumors came out, finally years later, they confirmed that they did had a cancel game. Same it could be with Retro. Now we're starting to see the rumors coming out saying that they have a possibly a cancel game. The time has been too much. It's been too long since the last game. Retro was an efficient developer in the past, so it's weird that they have this long term development cycle, I guess you could say. But like you said, doesn't mean that it's completely canceled. It could be reviving. It could be that they're modifying the prototype. It could be that they're building a new engine. There could be many things. And maybe this car racer, like I stated, the Star Fox Racer is just a stopgap so Retro can push something out. They need to justify their existence. I mean, it is what it is. The only thing, though, and I'm hopeful, is that Retro is not getting into the Rare type of deal where they lost all their talent. I haven't heard news of talent leaving Retro, but they lost all the talent. That right now Retro is just a former shelf of themselves, and we're just seeing Retro as with the nostalgia glasses, I guess you could put it, Caleones, and this is the real Retro now. So, I don't know. I'm hopeful it's wrong. I'm hopeful that it's not Star Fox Racer, and if it's Star Fox Racer, they announce in the same day, yeah, we're doing Star Fox Racer, but we have another IP called blah, 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 coming, even if it still needs like 5 years to make, Caleones. I mean, Square Enix announced games 10 years in advance, so I would be fine knowing that Retro is working on something else and give them a pass. But if they come out and says we're only working on Star Fox Racers or Star Fox Grand Prix or whatever it's called, there's gonna be some pushback. Let me put it that way. The same way we had with Metroid Federation Forces when that game came out, that was a lot of pushback by the Nintendo community. This could be the same. Again, if Retro was doing something with Star Fox, I would have preferred a new Star Fox. Like, they could erase the Platinum version of Star Fox that we had on the Wii U, take Shigeru Miyamoto away from the project completely, and just make a straight up racer. Imagine a straight up racer, a straight up shooter fighter, plane fighter with elements like they did with the GameCube, with adventures but well made, where you can go planet to planet, harvest elements, explore, build your ship, make it stronger, and then you have sections that you would have in a big Star Wars fights. Imagine mixing both of them at the same time. That could be the next. To me, Star Fox is another franchise that need reinvention or need a soft reboot. That to me is the next step. It's a full adventure game where you fly planes and you fight it, but give some RPG elements where you build that plane. Do that, Retro. I'll be all for it. I think Retro could do an awesome job, but straight up racer, I don't think so. But again, we shall see. This is only rumors. It's interesting. E3 is picking up. E3 rumors is picking up. And, we shall see, I guess is the best way I could put it, Caleones.
Well, I mean, something else we can say is, remember the backlash when people heard, the rumors about Mario and Rabbids game? And people were trashing it and all that. And look how
it came out great, But, to the defense, Nintendo does not have tactical games for them. Nintendo has a racer already, and a top-of-the-line racer, for that point, a fun top-of-the-line racer. That's where that doesn't match. But maybe this Star Fox Racer is a car combat. Maybe they're still putting a little bit of twisted metal in it. You know what I'm saying? It could be. I mean, that could make it a different spin, but it's still a racer at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? I would prefer a full-blown adventure game, in my opinion. So, anyway.
But something, did you ever play Diddy Kong's Racing?
No, I did not. No.
Okay, so Diddy Kong Racing, to me, it was a great mixture of racing and adventure, something unlike anything else that had ever been done. And I mean, to this day, it does have an 88 on Metacritic, so it is a game that was highly rated, highly regarded, and overall, I mean, I love the game to the point where I found absolutely everything that you could find within the game. Because it was, I mean, just like I said, a perfect mixture of adventure and racing. And I believe this is something that maybe, I mean, we haven't really seen again from Nintendo or from any other developer, or at least done, as great as Diddy Kong Racing was. So it might be something like that. It might be Retro's version of Diddy Kong Racing using Star Fox. I mean, like they said, basically you shoot your way, or you shoot in order to propel yourself and make yourself go faster. You can attack other people to make them go slower or take them out. But at the same time, the faster you go, the harder it is for you to shoot things. So you have to do a mixture of either going fast, maybe not as fast, so you have more accuracy when shooting, or so which way are you going to play? Are you going to play more the action shooting type, or the racing going fast type? So I mean, we shall see. It's E3 is less than a month away. Not that the game is going to be announced at E3, but if all this information is coming out, it has to be announced at E3. I would expect, or maybe on a Nintendo Direct beforehand. So the game should be closed. Like we said last year, Mario & Rabbids, we started hearing a lot from the game right before E3, and then E3 we had the full-blown reveal by Nintendo or by Ubisoft.
And Nintendo together, but yeah.
So yeah, it's probably going to be the same thing. With the amount of information out on Star Fox Grand Prix, it feels like the game will be announced shortly.
That is correct. What's up, cool drummers? Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you're hyped for E3 and all the news. Let me know in the chat if what you think about Retro maybe working with a Star Fox racer. Oof. Anyway, Caleones, interesting. We shall see. And maybe we'll be surprised. Like you said, Mario & Rabbids is a perfect example of being surprised. Maybe what Retro pulls out is something revolutionary, never seen, and I'm eating my words right here, and I'll be the first one to admit here that I was wrong and say, Retro kicked ass and did something new. The same thing, I was making fun of Mario & Rabbids, and I ended up completing the game completely and told Caleones that I liked the game a lot, and I liked the game well enough that I did 99% of the game. I just didn't do one extreme mission, but aside from that, everything else I did it. But anyway, with that said, Caleones, let's go to the last topic in today's hot topics, because there's also rumors going a lot around about Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all.
Well, the next piece of news, and this was another big one. Again, this is all rumors, nothing confirmed, but I mean, even the Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have been teasing it, because, or at least join in on the fun. But Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee domain names have been registered. Not only that, but we've seen tweets from the Pokemon Company where they're holding Pikachu and Eevee, side by side, and from other places as well. But it seems like the next Pokemon game will be featuring Pikachu and Eevee as the main characters, or the primary Pokemon on those. So are you surprised about this decision? Do you think this is gonna go well? Tell us about your view on this, Dantes.
I got no view, because one, I'm not a big Pokemon fan. Let me put it that way. That's true. But I said to Caleones that I'm interested in this game if it's like a full remake of the original 150. I don't care about any other than the original 150, right? So sounds like this could be a remake, and this could be. I'm gonna be positive in this piece of news. Oh, Nintendo fans are gonna be surprised today with me. You should be happy that this is coming out like this, because this means that what they're working could be a side story for the Switch, or a remake of the original game for the Switch. Full on graphics, nice. It's still gonna be a full blown Pokemon. It's still gonna be nice, good, well made Pokemon. Let me put it that way. But it is not. It is a side story in the sense that they're also working on a full-fledged main entry Pokemon for the Switch. So then now you have maybe two Pokemon franchises running around where you continue with the branch of the mainline Pokemon, but then you have this branch that is starting from scratch with the 150 Pokemon. That's the first game that is coming on the Switch. So they're having two big teams working on Pokemon games. So if you're a Pokemon fan, you're probably happy because you're gonna get a lot of Pokemon. And Nintendo is smart. They see the Pokemon Go, how popular it is, or it used to be popular, but it is enough in people's minds where I could foresee, a Pokemon with the original 150, and a lot of people picking up the Switch and say, I want to play the new Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, because Is the title a little bit stupid? Yeah, it is. But I mean, it is a Pokemon company. It is Nintendo. It doesn't matter. The title does not matter. What matters is the game inside the game, right? So hopefully it's still gonna be the Pokemon Switch game, a full-fledged. Now, where I would criticize Caleones if the game is just really a side story where it's not a full-fledged Pokemon game. It's some Detective Pikachu crap or something like that. No, I'm saying if it's a full-fledged Pokemon, who cares about the title? And what this means is that they could be splitting the Pokemon franchise, and you could be having two franchises going forward. So that could be exciting for Pokemon fans.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is the game of the name is Pokemon Let's Go, the Pikachu edition and the Eevee edition. So, I mean, not that different from Pokemon Go or, the other Pokemon games.
That's good. That's true. Once to intervene quickly, that's a good point. Maybe they're merging the Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go so people can jump in. So go ahead, Carion. Sorry, I just wanted to make that's a good point.
And not necessarily jump in from Pokemon Go, but from the original Pokemon game. So, okay, so you've had Pokemon. It released over 20 years ago on the original Game Boy. You've been collecting the Pokemon on the Game Boy Advance, on the DS, 3DS, and any system in between. So you've had, right now you have over 800 Pokemon that you have to collect, and it is hard for people to go back and to the beginning, get those systems, try to get them or get the digital copies on the systems and play them, or even trading. Because trading, you have to find trade partners. You got to do a checklist. So this is to me is the Pokemon Company just making it simple and saying, you know what, we're gonna start with like you said, maybe like an alternate type story on the original world and with the original 150 Pokemons, because we're gonna try to make sure that we release the games from the very beginning. Starting now on a system that a lot of people can jump in and do it. So that you have all these people that they haven't had a chance and they feel overwhelmed by jumping into Pokemon because there's already so many out there. So now you give them a chance to start from the very beginning, start collecting their Pokemon, and you're going to be able to open up Pokemon to millions of people out there, especially those Pokemon Go players that don't play the handheld versions, for them to come into the Switch, get the game, and start from scratch like everybody else. I'm going to be one of those people that if this is the way they're doing it, I'm going to be happy that I can jump into Pokemon and start from the very, very beginning collecting them. I'm not going to be worried about, there's over 800 of them out there, because like everybody else, we're going to start from the very beginning. And this, of course, is probably going to eliminate the Pokemon bank that the other games have. Maybe not. They'll allow you to transfer the Pokemon over that you have collected, but by keeping it to the first 150 for now and allow it to grow at a steady pace, you're going to be inviting millions of other players, and that's going to be on top of the 15-20 million players already out there. So it's going to be overall great for the Pokemon Company and Nintendo to do it this way.
Yeah, and the title doesn't matter, so don't freak out for the title. So it is what it is. So we're good, Caleones, on that one. We're good, and we're done with hot topics. So Caleones, it's time to switch it, and switch it good to Onuma's News Burst. So what is the first piece of news on News Burst tonight, Caleones?
So the first piece of news, and this is going to be something that, from the mouth of Treyarch, and they are saying, first, shut up, Marcus, because everything you've said has not come out true. We still have yet to see Call of Duty coming over to the Switch. Yes, they said they were going to have two separate modes, but it seems like, Pokemon, I'm going into Pokemon as angry as I am, but yeah, you know my relationship with Marcus Seller. I've called them out. He promised Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was going to be on the Switch. They said there's no plans for Black Ops 4 to be on the Switch. And it seems like the Battle Royale mode is going to be part of the game as well. And I saw the Battle Royale mode. I think it's going to be a little difficult for the Switch, to have that portion on it as well. So it seems like, Dantes, we might not be seeing any Call of Duty games at all on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, it breaks my heart, Caleones. You know how big of a fan I am of Call of Duty. Oh, my God. Okay, joking aside, even though Call of Duty is not for me, it's tough loss for Nintendo users or Nintendo fans who only are Nintendo console users and want to have their Call of Duty Royal, edition or whatever you want to call it, Battle Royale edition. I mean, Battle Royale is coming to the Switch little by little. I know that what was the game Justice is coming around, and Fortnite is gonna show up on the Switch. That if that game is on mobile, goddamn, that needs to come to the Switch. That's dumb. Let me put it that way. It's as dumb as Spyro still done being announced, but I think that's more because of that's gonna come out on the Nintendo Direct, the A3 Direct that they're gonna do. So again, this is news burst. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I will say it's not a big deal, guys. Take it easy. You got other Battle Royale games, and if you're that big into Call of Duty, you probably already have a PC, PlayStation 4 on Xbox, and your Switch is your second console. So I think this doesn't affect that much Nintendo users, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be more than likely Fortnite, like you said, it's already been optimized on mobile. I've used it where I'm connected on the smartphone, playing with people on the Xbox, on PlayStation 4, and it runs great. I mean, of course, it's not as optimized as the other one. It's not 1080p, 60, like that, but the frames, run pretty good. Matches are good, and that's still having 100 players, to begin with on the games. So. Yeah, I mean, I see no problem whatsoever with the Nintendo Switch being able to run the game and run it properly, and being cross-play enabled with the Xbox, with PC, with smartphones. And the other one is Crazy Justice. Crazy Justice is still coming over to the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, that's another Battle Royale game.
You got your fix, Nintendo fans. You don't need Call of Duty. Anyway, those games are going to be full of microtransactions. You don't want to even play it. But anyway, Caleones, let's move to the next news.
Okay, the next one is that Platinum Games says Bayonetta 3 for Nintendo Switch is progressing steadily. They were talking about the system itself. This is from an interview that they had recently. Probably 3 days ago or so. They said that it's progressing steadily. It's difficult to say, but it is continuing. This time around, the development process is slightly different. There's not much that we can say at all, but there's a lot of surprises left in store for the game. Things outside of expectations. Please look forward to it. So, of course, they're not talking about the game. We know that there's the game is coming. We still don't know if it's going to be a 2018 or 2019 title, but we had Bayonetta 1 and 2 re-release on the Switch this past February. I wouldn't be surprised to see at the very least gameplay, for the game, or an expanded trailer, even if it's CG, for it. I believe we're going to see something. We're going to see Bayonetta 3 in some shape or form at E3. Anything that you think of on this? Any thoughts?
No, the game's going to be good. We know it's going to be good, and the development is going well. So that's good news.
Okay, and this is another piece of news coming from Platinum Games. They say that they are making an action game that will flip the genre on its head. The bullet points for this is Platinum Games is working on a bunch of interesting games. One title in particular they think is new and innovative that you've never seen before and will turn the action genre on its head. And a lot of people at Platinum Games don't even know about this top secret project. So it seems like they're keeping it. It's a small team working on it. Mostly how it usually is. You have a small team creating the new ideas, the storyline, characters, everything. And once they decide on the project, then they open it up to everybody else within the company to work on it. So as expected, it seems like they're constantly working on different ideas for games, and it seems like this one is one that they're getting ready to run and have everybody involved in it.
Yeah, that game that they're working on is Scalebound. Yeah, that's the game that's coming. Anyway, there was rumors, and I will talk about it tomorrow, that Scalebound came back to the Xbox shop. So I was making that joke. They asked Camilla, and Camilla stated, I don't know what you're talking about. No one has told me about that. If Scalebound is coming back, it's not done by Platinum Games. Let me put it that way. But because Microsoft owns the IP. But anyway, going back to that, we shall see. I mean, if there's someone who knows action games, it's Platinum Games. And I wouldn't mind a reboot of Beautiful Joe.
Okay, well, going over to the next piece of news, and this is great news for Nintendo. Is that Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze has outsold the Wii U version of the game in only 2 weeks. So the 2 weeks sell totals based on the Famitsu sales is that Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze has sold 122,000 copies on the Nintendo Switch versus 118 total copies for the Wii U version. And I believe this is only physical. I'm not sure if this is digital, so I think it's only physical copies. So, I mean, how impressive is it that in just 2 weeks it's already beat the sales totals?
Well, that's in Japan, but it's gonna beat anyway the overall anyway. It's impressive, Caleones. I'm still gonna criticizing that there's too many ports on the Switch right now, but they're selling. If they're selling, Nintendo's gonna give them. And the reason I maybe see it that way, Caleones, that there's too many ports is because I had a Wii U. But I also have to admit, a lot of people did not have the Wii U, so I was one of the few who had the Wii U. There you go. So there's a lot of people out there. These games are new to those peoples. And then it makes sense for Nintendo to keep doing it. But I'm just saying Nintendo needs to do a better job in mixing ports with new stuff. That's the only thing I'm saying. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think what this is going to tell you is that you're going to see more ports from Nintendo. You're probably going to see a Wonderful 101, coming over in some way. You're probably going to see Tokyo Mirage Sessions, coming over to the Switch as well. We already have, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is going to be making it over. They might even decide, to release Super Mario 3D World, or I mean something that I think it would be fine if they did. Maybe the new Super Mario Brothers collection, collecting all the games, from the Wii U, and the Nintendo 3DS and the DS, because the DS had the very first one. So maybe, I mean, that'll be a pretty good collection to have as well. But I think this is a good way for Nintendo to kind of masquerade the empty spaces that they have on their calendar, because they can use certain ports. One, because they'll optimize the other ports, they can resell it again, and they can make a lot more money on a port that they can on games that they develop for 2, 3, 4 years from scratch. And the other thing is that they have empty slots on the calendar year where they have no releases or only a few releases, and they might be. I mean, that's a good way to make it seem like Nintendo is releasing a lot of games. So, I mean, overall, great strategies for Nintendo, and something that I believe it will continue, especially with these kind of sales.
We shall see. Go ahead with the next news.
Okay, next one is that NBA Playgrounds 2 has been pushed back due to exciting things. So basically, developers were talking about the game. The original launch date for the game was supposed to be May 22nd, but it has been moved out. They haven't said the new release date for the game, but it seems like they will be adding additional features. And hopefully one of those is going to be to have online on the Nintendo Switch for day one, because I think it took a couple of weeks until online came over to the Switch when it originally released.
Yep. I think it could be good. A little more time. Could be better for the game. I did not play the first one. We shall see if this one is better. But anyway, good for the game.
Going over to the next one, and this is Nintendo telling everybody, guys, if you are planning, guys and gals, if you are planning to go over to E3 this year, make sure that you take your Nintendo Switch over, because Nintendo will be handing out collectible pins to people that they see carrying and playing the system. So Dantes, I know we did talk about it this year. We're not going to be able to make it. We're going to try to see if maybe somehow next year we could make the trip over there. We have over a year to plan it over, so maybe we can make something happen. But for those of you that will be going, take the Switch. Make sure if you see Reggie or somebody with a Nintendo shirt, take it out, turn it on, play it, and you might get yourself a collectible pin.
Yay! Go ahead, Caleones, with the next one. And sorry, Dick, I know you came back, but we're on news burst right now, so we're hitting them fast and quick. So you missed the big topics. Go ahead.
Well, but you can always rewind it. Everybody else, you can start from the beginning and tell everybody else, and make sure you hit that
everybody else. Remember, you guys want that Splatoon tournament sequel? We need to get to 1,000, so get us quick there, and we'll make it again. Anyway, go ahead, Caleones.
Well, going over to the next one, and that Monolith Soft recruiting for the latest project, they are looking for a technical artist, programmer, planner, and designer for something else that they're working currently. They haven't said if it's a brand new IP. They haven't said if it's a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, or if maybe they're bringing Xenoblade Chronicles X over to the Switch as one of those possible ports that they can bring from the Wii U. So your thoughts, Dantes, what they could be working on?
It could be the new game. I mean, it seems that they're scaling pretty big for this new game that not everybody knows. It could be something big. I mean, like we stated, I think this is the group that is working on this IP for years now. The Xenoblade Chronicles 2 team was a small team. They outsourced a lot of the development. It was smart. They were able to come up with a quick game while they work on this big game. Again, they could be in the same status as Retro, where they're working on this big game, but they're building Grand Prix first. But the difference is Monolith Soft made a masterpiece in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, in my opinion, with 40
and
people.
Last week you did mention something about the Xenosaga trademark being renewed.
Correct.
Maybe and seeing Cosmos on Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Maybe maybe that's what they're working on. So who knows? But hopefully. Not hopefully. They come in, they come out with quality games, so it will be a worthwhile game coming from Monolith Soft.
Thank you, Dick, for the promotion. Help us to get there, and let's do that tournament, and hopefully your Switch will be fixed, so you can, because we were all expecting the beast.
It's already fixed. Nintendo Switch is already fixed.
Okay, so Dig, you need to be in the next tournament because everybody was expecting the beast to take the championship, so hopefully you can join in this time. Anyway,
I want to see Eddie with more competition from Dig, from Arrow. I want to see those two on the next tournament.
Yep. We shall see. Okay, go ahead, Caleones, with the next one.
Okay, so for those of you that were unable to pick up the Nintendo Entertainment System Mini, the Classic Edition, 2 years ago when it launched, it's going to be coming back on June 29. So June 29, the system will be coming back to the stores. They haven't released the price for it, but originally when it launched, it was $59.99. The Super NES Mini was $79.99. So maybe it's going to return with the same retail price. Maybe it's going to be more expensive. But June 29, mark your calendars. If you haven't gotten it before and you were one of those that were considering paying over $100 and some dollars, to try to get it, this is going to be the time. They're going to be producing more units, so hopefully it'll be easier to get it this time around.
Good luck.
Well, as for me, when I got it originally, I went to Toys R Us at 1:50 a.m. with my brother, and we stayed in line from 1:50 a.m. until 8 a.m., and we got the last two.
Ooh.
But yeah, it was fun times. Well, next story is going to be Okami for the Nintendo Switch. Will be coming over to the West on the 9th of August. So this is Dantes. I've actually never played Okami before.
Yep.
I've never played the game. And I think this is going to be what gets me to play the game finally.
Yes. Everybody says it's like a great Zelda game with a Okami skin. So I'm planning to play it on PlayStation 4 this year, Caleones, too. I want to give it a shot. That could be a good title for PlayStation Mondays, because even though I'm playing PlayStation game, at the same time I'm playing a Switch game, and I can bring both crowds together for that show. So it's an idea that I may play it a little bit. I don't know if I'll do a full walkthrough. I think that game is pretty big. But play a couple of episodes, play Okami, see how it runs, see how it works. I'm interested. Okami's always sounded like a game that I would be like hyped for, that I would be getting into it really hardcore, but there's always something that stopped me from playing the game. But hopefully this year, it's that year. It's that time, Caleones. What time is it? Game time.
So the question is going to be, are you going to be playing this game before it releases on the Switch?
I do not. That I do not know. My backlog is huge because I decided to play God of War again. So all my plans this year just suck. Only 3 plats. So let me see if I can build the plats. At least I'll go through the 2 Crash Bandicoot games, Undertale, and then after Undertale, I think could be the spot for Okami, if that's by August, which I don't think so. I think I should get through those games before Okami, but we shall see.
Okay, and this is going to be the last piece of news is that Super Neptunia RPG is coming to the Nintendo Switch this autumn. This has come from Idea Factory, and they confirmed through their Twitter account that the game will be arriving. It is a 2D side-scroller type game, but they haven't specified except for like fall, uh, which is going to be coming for this year. So that's the last game announced and the last story that we have for this Get In and Get Out.
Thank you, Caleones, with those pieces of news. But now it's time to move to our favorite supermarket, Chiguero's Supermarket. So what are the hot games in today's market, Caleones?
Well, the Shigeru Supermarket is bringing you quality games for this week, and we actually get started with and I want to say the name of the games and you having a straight face without laughing, Dante. So let's go ahead and try this one. Yeah, try it out this time. The first one is Henry the Hamster Handler. The second one is Little Nightmares Complete Edition, Baseball All-Stars Professional, Banner Saga 1, Faerun Collection, Framed Collection, Ice Cream Surfer, Invisiballs, Johnny Turbo's Arcade Super Burger Time, White Knight, Yonder, The Cloud Catcher Chronicles, Battle Chasers Night War, and I wanted to say that one again. I'm enjoying the game. Reviewed it for my Nintendo 64 actually. So guys, go read that review. But the game of the week, Dantes, is Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch.
Another port. Anyway, good selection.
I'll say this. Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles, it is a good game. It's kind of like a light Breath of the Wild type game. It doesn't have, it has the big world type of exploration, but without the combat. So it is a nice indie game to play for the system. That could be another one recommended.
So Battle Chasers, Caleones, are you gonna do like a small video review for the channel? Since you did the review you already have the review written, you could do a quick video review for Battle Chasers if you wanted to. Just say.
I'll go ahead and do it. I mean, that's something that we normally don't do. If we do a review, we do it as part of the Get In and Get Out, or we do a separate video talking about it. But I mean, one of those small review type trailers. I guess I can look forward to doing one of those. So I'll do it.
If not, what we can do is in the next Get In, because again, they did give you a code, so I want to promote it. We can do it in the next Get In and Get Out as one of the hot topics for the week for sure. So you can give out your full review on the game, and I can put some gameplay in the background.
And something that I wanted to say as well, and this is that NISA America actually gave me a review code for Ease 8 Lacrimosa of Dana for the Nintendo Switch. I can't show you guys anything from the game until next month after E3, but once the embargo breaks, which is going to be before the release date on the Switch, you're going to start seeing you're gonna the review itself for the game. You're gonna see gameplay. You might see the full walkthrough if I can get around to be able to do that. But definitely you're gonna see more content from that game. I haven't personally started it. I downloaded it. I started the game itself just to make sure that it loaded properly and all. But I haven't started playing it. I'm gonna do that tomorrow, and I'm gonna have an entire month to have that for you guys. So I mean, thank you for to NISA America and
NIS America.
Well, NIS America.
Yeah, it sounded like NISA, so like the cars. That's what I was clarifying to the team.
NIS America.
Yes, thank you.
NIS America. But thank you guys for providing the review code, and for everybody on our channel, you're gonna start seeing content from that game in a month's time.
Anyway, with that said, Caleones, I think the show is done. It's time to end it. So let's do that. And of course, let me put that sweet ass Xenoblade music in the background. Let's do this. I want to thank everybody for watching the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast episode 46 right here at the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make this two crazy MS happy. Also remember, if you don't want to see ugly faces, it's all good. We got a solution for you. You can get this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show us some love. Also, go to the description box below so you can see the full channel schedule. Remember, on Mondays, you're going to get PlayStation Mondays, where for now, I'm streaming God of Wars. Watch Part 2 this Monday. Of course, on Wednesdays, we got streaming Wednesdays, where for now, sounds like Caleones is going to be leading the charge on Wednesdays. Then we have Fridays. It's going to be a TBD, but it's typically Toys and More Club Presents, but for now it's TBD. But anyway, of course, then on Saturday you got this show, and then on Sundays you got the Force In Unison Live, where we discuss all the video game news. Also, we have a Facebook page called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, I want to thank everybody again for watching. Long live Nintendo. See you guys, and good night.